Harper Lane owned a small, weathered general store on the edge of Maple Hollow, a sleepy little town that the world seemed to have forgotten. The floorboards creaked underfoot, the sign outside was faded, and the old cash register had seen better days. Business had been slow for months. Harper had inherited the store from her late father, and despite her best efforts, she was barely scraping by, behind on rent, inventory nearly empty, and the utility bills stacked in a drawer she couldn't bear to open. Just as she was turning the open sign to closed one quiet evening, the soft jingle of the shop door startled her. An elderly man stood in the doorway, his figure hunched, his face weathered by time. He limped in slowly, his cane tapping rhythmically on the wooden floor. "I know it's late," he said, his voice raspy but kind, "but I was hoping to grab something warm, maybe some bread and tea?" Harper hesitated. Most of the shelves were bare. She had been rationing what little stock she had left. "I don't have much," she admitted, "but give me a minute." She stepped into the back and returned with a small loaf of bread and a jar of her last tea leaves, her personal stash. The man reached for his wallet, but his hand shook. "I left my money at the clinic," he said, embarrassed. "I just came from a long appointment. Didn't think I'd need anything." Harper didn't hesitate. "It's fine," she said with a soft smile. "Consider it on the house." The old man's eyes welled up. "People don't do that much anymore." "Maybe they should," Harper replied, handing him a warm cloth bag with the food. He sat briefly, sipping the tea as they chatted. He spoke of simpler times, of how people used to trade stories more than dollars, and how kindness used to be part of daily life. After a while, he stood to leave. "Thank you, Harper. You've done more than you know." She waved him off, assuming that would be the last she saw of him. 2 days later, Harper was behind the counter counting coins to see if she could afford another order of canned goods when a black luxury SUV pulled up outside. A sharply dressed woman stepped out and opened the door for a man. The same elderly man from before, but now in a tailored suit, his posture strong and commanding. "Harper Lane?" he asked as he stepped into the shop. She blinked, confused. "Yes?" The man smiled. "I'm Thomas Everly. I own Everly Holdings." Harper's heart skipped a beat. Everly Holdings, the name was everywhere. Agriculture, retail, philanthropy. A billion-dollar name. "I came to your store in disguise," he said. "It's something I do from time to time, to see how people treat others when they think there's nothing in it for them." Harper was speechless. Thomas reached into his coat and handed her an envelope. Inside was a check for $250,000, enough to pay off her debts, restock the store, and keep her afloat for years. "I've seen hundreds of shops and thousands of faces," he said, "but I'll never forget yours. You gave not because of who I was, but because of who you are." Harper felt tears sting her eyes. "I just did what I thought was right. And that," Thomas said gently, "is exactly why you're being rewarded." Harper didn't leave Maple Hollow. Instead, she used the money to renovate her store, turning it into a vibrant community hub. She expanded the space, hired 2 assistants who were unemployed, and introduced a give-what-you-can corner stocked with food and supplies for anyone in need. A small photograph sat near the register, a candid picture of Thomas Everly sipping tea with a worn jacket and cane. People in town began to say Harper's store didn't just sell food anymore. It sold hope, and every evening, as the sun dipped behind the hills, Harper would look at her little shop and smile, reminded that one act of kindness could change everything, even in a dusty, forgotten corner of the world. In a world that often rewards power and prestige, Harper Lane proved that the real currency is kindness. She gave without knowing. She helped without expecting. And because of one selfless act, her whole life changed. What if your kindness was the key to someone else's miracle? This isn't just a story, it's a wake-up call, a reminder that even in the quietest corners, your heart can spark a revolution. Share this story if you believe in compassion over convenience. Tag someone who inspires you with their generosity. Comment below. What's the kindest thing someone's ever done for you, or that you've done for someone else? Because the world doesn't change with grand speeches. It changes when everyday heroes like you step up, give back, and make someone feel seen. Be the reason someone believes in good again. Kindness isn't random. It's powerful, it's intentional, and it's world-changing. Subscribe to my channel to get more inspirational stories.